As many of you watching me might be aware that we have a new government, the Labour government, and they came into power last year in 2024. And there's been a lot of talk in the news from both parties, the opposition, the Reform Party, about immigration. And I think it's the hot topic, I would say, at the minute, which is why I thought it's worthwhile putting out this video to bring about some of the discussions that are happening in the background between Britain and the European Union. Very exciting times ahead indeed. For those of you who may not know what COS is a certificate of sponsorship. This was an initiative which was brought about in 2016, back when Britain left the European Union. At the time, it was called Brexit. And I think many of you who might have engaged in this election would have known that at the time, Brexit split the country in half. There were some people that were Remainers and Brexiteers when the referendum was called. And I'm glad to announce that I was a Brexiteer. But to my family and friends' surprise, they were sort of asking me, how could you be a Brexiteer? Because it was frowned upon at the time that anybody who happened to be a Brexiteer was not for the people, was somewhat on the racist side, which I struggled with, but I campaigned heavily. And for me, immigration was a big deal because at the time we were only able to recruit from Europe, and the system for Remain just targeted just Europe, whereas Brexit, according to Boris Johnson, which is now in effect, we are now living in those times. He promised that when Britain left Europe, that we would all be recruiting from across the world, from Asia, from Africa, from any other countries, on a points-based system based on skills, qualification, and ability for individuals to do the work. So the employers were given the autonomy to be able to recruit based on, who's the best worker that they could get. And it could only be a good thing. So I don't know why there was such a backlash against it back at the time. And I'm glad that Brexit did happen because it birthed COS, and COS has now led us to see vast amount of staff from different parts of the world, good workers that are really helping, particularly the healthcare sector, which is the point that I'm going to be coming to. Because at the time, people may remember that there were waiting lists in hospitals. Elderly people were not able to be discharged on time because the care companies were so stretched. They were struggling to recruit locally, even when we're in Europe, even when we had an influx of workers from Europe. Most of them didn't particularly pick to work in care. So it still struggled, that care sector. And I think this is an important point to take on to the end of this video, that the care sector struggled even during the time when the European Union we had an influx of people that were coming to work and contributing quite well. So I think most of you who have been in this country, they know that immigration laws change quite quickly, and you've almost got to keep on top of the changes. So I thought it was important to do this quick video and bring it to light to those people that may be affected. And the levels of net migration, they're planning to reduce those. There's pressure on politician parties or politicians to be able to reduce those numbers. And I think if some people can remember that last year again, the student visas were affected. I think those on student visas that were able to bring their families, the government decided that they were going to stop that, and people were no longer allowed to bring their families to the UK on a student visa. So changes happen all the time. And I think employers and those planning to come on a COS visa, you've almost got to keep abreast with the changes that are happening in this country. And for me, I just feel that even the care homes, they benefited from the COSs, because I think that was another area that was struggling at the time. And some of the benefits of the COS, I think those that are in the health and social care sector will agree with me, that in terms of continuity of care, retaining staff, the people that run these establishments or care homes or home care will know that training staff cost a lot of money, buying uniforms and continuity of care. The clients, the families, everybody benefits from having that continuity of care and the investment of training in the same staff members. Then the staff get experienced, especially if you've got your staff for 5 years, which is what the COS benefits to the health and social care sector. So you've got that continuity of care throughout. And I feel that this new initiative that is being negotiated may actually affect that. And I think this was being talked about, the initiative I'm going to talk about, which is the Youth Mobility Scheme. This has been in existence for other countries. I think that it's been in existence for countries like New Zealand, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Uruguay. They are selected countries, and sadly, amongst these selected countries, I think Africa is not there, and India is there, but it's also got some special rules that they've got. And I feel that the COS enabled people to recruit across board, so it worked for most people. But however, I think if most of you remember, during the Brexit time, Kier Starmer was a Remainer, and now that he is back in power, I think he's seen as somebody who is the softer person to negotiate. So when I think he went to Brussels sometime for a meeting, and this was top on the agenda, Europe wanted some guarantees from him about extending this youth mobility back to Europe, because this is something that was stopped when we left Europe, and the European Union is quite keen for it to be extended to people that are between the age of 18 and 30 to be able to come and work in Britain and study whenever they like. And these visas will be extended for those people. But for me, my concern and my problem with that youth mobility visa is that it's not going to be specific to the health and social care sector. And most of these younger people that will be coming here, they may not be interested in actually working in the health and social care sector, and they may decide, okay, I'm going to work in a care home, or I'm going to work for this home care company. After 6 months, they may decide that actually I don't like it, it's not for me. Because when you've got the flexibility to be able to work and do what you want where you want, I think it's easier to be able to try it for a period of time and then leave, and then try another job and leave. But for recruiters within the healthcare sector, I feel that that's going to pose some challenges, because like I said earlier, training, uniforms, a lot of other things that are involved in making sure that you've got your staff, they are quite costly, and continuity of care, that will suffer as well with this. But that all remains to be seen. But I feel that with the pressure that the European Union and Britain wanting to also please the European Union, because, like I said, that's one of their biggest trading partners, they will have to wiggle. So something is going to happen, and I think that people need to watch the space on that. Whether that will affect the COS, I don't know. Whether that's going to be, to enable the COS to be reduced, maybe it might be better, but at least I feel that the COS and that may need to run parallel. But the government, because of the pressure that they are under to actually reduce net migration, I'm not so sure what's going to happen to that. So I think it's important for those people that are planning to actually recruit via the COS route. If you need staff now, I think don't sit on it anymore. I feel that you need to be able to, get on with it, get them 5-year visas so that you can have steady flow of staff whilst all this is going to come into play, because every single day there's a discussion about immigration. There are some things that we are going to see some changes, as we've seen in the past, that you can wake up, there will be an announcement, the Prime Minister is going to make a special announcement, they've decided to do this or that around whatever immigration policy changes. And on the other side, we've also got the Conservative leader, Kemi Badenoch, and she's announced immigration policy proposals, which I feel are quite radical and compared to what we have now. And then you've also got Nigel Farage, who is leading the polls. And the Conservatives want to sort of be able to be popular for the next elections in 4 years' time. So they are competing. And I feel that the deciding topic is going to be immigration. And it will be so sad to see if the COS visa is affected, because I just really feel that it has made a real difference. And I hope that alongside the extension of this European Union, that there will be some consideration taken into the health and social care, the impact of that within the health and social care sector. So those are some of the points that I also feel. But I would like to hear from some of those people that are watching to, of your views. What do you think will happen? Do you think that the opening of this youth mobility scheme, the extension of it to Europe, is going to affect the COS? If it does, how should, those people that are recruiting from the COSs that are benefiting from it, what should they do? And I think that's a debate that we need to have. And then there will be some people that will take it up in Parliament if it then affects. But I feel that immigration is a real big issue now, and I feel that there is something that's going to happen because there are trading partners like BRICS that are happening, that are excluding some of the countries, and you've got the strained relationship between Britain and America in light of the new leader, and that's all a game changer for Britain. And I think Britain and America have had special relationships for a long time, which has benefited Britain, which has benefited our economy. But what is that is going to look like at the minute? I feel that these are extreme times that we are in, and they are going to require extreme measures. In fact, there was an announcement that was made by Boris Johnson, an interview that he made recently, where he felt that coming out of Europe that we did during the referendum, he feels that the current Labour Party might actually be taking us back into the EU full. And there's also some news outlets that put some articles stating that there will be millions and millions of Europeans coming to Britain because they will be free to do so for 4 years at least. Then eventually they will, if they want to come and go, they can do that whenever they like. So it's going to be easier for those people to be able to come in numbers and do whatever they like. So it may affect the numbers from the other side. I don't know, but I thought it was worth knowing. It was worth for those people that are mainly affected to keep an eye on this change in policy so that it doesn't hit you by shock, it doesn't take you by surprise. That's why I thought to do this video, but I will also equally be interested in hearing your views. What are your thoughts? And did you find this video very helpful? And is it something you knew about? And if so, what are your thoughts? Let's have a chat in the comment section, and so that I can hear whether this video was very useful for you. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching. Till next time. Bye.